For the last report we're going to create for Access Project 6, I'm going to do this in a couple parts because this report creation is pretty lengthy, and I'm going to chop it up in 2 sections. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new report using report design, and I'm going to have the properties open up. Like we've done before, I need to select over here what my record source is going to be, and I'm going to select the book rep and customer like before. Once you have that selected, you can actually close this, which is nice. And I'm going to make sure you have your group and sort button on, and I'm going to add a group. The group will be book rep number, and the sort will be customer number. I'm going to close this, and I'm going to give my report a name. Right now I'm going to call the report discount report. Okay, I just followed the steps on 373 to get to that point. Okay, now the next part is where it starts getting a little tricky. I'm going to open the discount report back up in design view. I'm going to turn off my group and sort for now because I don't need it, but I'm going to come back and use that in a minute. I'm going to open up my add existing fields because what I need to do is set up the report, and I need a little bit of room. So in the book rep number header up here, I'm going to put the book rep number, drag it over, but I'm going to do this a little different than we've done in the other ones, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave a little bit of room here, because in the page header I'm going to make a little bit of an adjustment here. What I'm going to do is on the left hand side where the label is, I'm going to cut that. I'm going to click up in the page header and paste it. And I'm going to configure this like I have it on figure 664. But if you notice in there, they have the words rep number. And to get that to the next, click up after rep, hit shift and enter, and that will bring that down to a 2-line label. Now this takes a little bit of configuration and a little bit of patience, so I'm going to have that there, and then wherever this will be below it, and that will actually, this will hold the data. So the portion below hold data, the portion at the top is just a label, but you'll now see that these are vertical instead of horizontal. So we're going to do the same idea. First we're going to set up like page 664 and put our fields like first name and last name, and don't worry too much about the neatness of this yet, because we're going to make it very different here in a second. Customer name, amount paid, and current due. Make sure I didn't forget one. So we have first name, last name, customer number, customer name, amount paid, and current due. Now, before what we would do is we would line these up and align them and do them in various ways like that. What I'm going to do in this case, like I did with the last example, I'm going to take each of these. I'm going to right click on the label part, which is on the left. I'm going to cut these. I'm going to come up here. This now will be in the header section. So in here I'm going to paste and configure these this way. I'm going to do the same idea. After first, I'm going to click in there, hit shift enter, and make that a 2-line label. Now you can do this whatever order you want. The first name text box will appear right below that. So this can be a time-consuming process, like I was saying. So I'm going to follow this again. I'm going to right click, cut the label part, paste it here, and ultimately it's going to look like figure 6-65. And on this, again, like the others, for time reasons, I may pause this, but take the time to do this. I am going to do the next one just because I want to make sure it's done correctly. Is instead of CU number, it's going to be customer number. Doesn't matter where you do it. The label needs to be cut and then placed up here. Now feel free, within reason here, to widen the area we're working with. So if you need to widen this a little bit, feel free. But ultimately, it's going to look like it does on figure 6-65. So take a moment or two and get these set up. I'll pause this so that you don't have to see me do all this. What you may or may not have noticed is while I was doing the earlier part, paused, I caught myself and my items weren't quite looking like they did on 665. I had some items in the book rep number header. They should be in the page header. So I now have it set up, I think, correctly to look like figure 6-65. And again, feel free if you need to widen some items to do so. Feel free to do that. But I have it configured in this manner, and what I could do, actually, I'm going to save it and look at it and then come back and clean it up as we go along. It will need some cleaning up, but I just want to make sure it looks correctly, and I may need to widen. See where it says customer name? I may need to widen that a little bit. So if I need to do that, I can come back in under design view and kind of make a couple minor adjustments here. So feel free to play around and adjust that as needed. Save it, and then we'll continue with the next part.